Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa sallallahu ala rasulillah. All right, brothers, make your niyyah for the sake of Allah Ta'ala. We're in session 4. So let's very quickly go through what we've been reviewing, because we've been going over the same material quite a bit. The accountable person Islamically is the one who is responsible, will be brought into account for what they believed, what they said and did in this world. Okay? So he is going to, or she is responsible for themselves. And we mentioned the accountable person. What are the 3 conditions of accountability?
Sanity.
Sanity, okay.
Puberty.
The second one is puberty.
Okay, puberty.
And hearing the call.
And the third one,
Hearing the call.
the call of Islam reached them. The call of Islam reached them.
In their language.
In a language they understand, yeah. And here, when I got the ... the meaning in the language that they understand. We're not writing it all out because we said it, it's on the video, inshallah, and we already discussed it. The one issue here would be puberty. For the male, how many conditions to indicate puberty for the male?
3.
For the male?
2.
2.
Oh,
One
okay.
of 2 conditions. Which, what are they?
Age of 15.
Or before that, usually?
The mani.
Yeah, he sees the mani. If he doesn't see the mani, the sexual fluid, then when he becomes what? Age of 15 lunar years,
Yeah.
which is going to be about 14 and a half solar years. Last week we said the mani is about the age of 7, and then we mentioned that age is the age of 7. And we said about 6 and a half. It's more than that. It's about almost about 6 months, 6 years and about 9 months.
Okay.
Or so.
Okay.
So a little bit more than that, 10 months. Okay. So this we mentioned we mentioned here in the call to Islam. We said not having to necessarily hear all the details of the creed, to hear the basic call of Islam in a language that they understand. That's enough. Okay. So that's the accountable person. Now let's talk about salvific exclusivity, which is what we discussed last week, and we're going to go into a little bit of detail on this bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. What does salvific exclusivity mean?
Salvation only through Islam.
Yeah, our belief, salvation only through Islam. So we're going to go break this down, inshallah. And we mentioned several verses from the Quran. One is very explicit about this issue. What was the verse? Al-Imran 19, which means what?
The only religion accepted
by Allah in Islam.
Okay, the only religion
Accepted
accepted by
by Allah.
Allah is Islam. Okay, so that's explicit. And this is with a stretch on the A, Imran, verse 19. Okay? Inna ad-deena inda Allahi al-Islam. The only religion accepted by Allah is Islam. Okay, طيب. So now let's talk about the issue of belief. We're going to give the Arabic terms, and then we'll explain them, insha'Allah ta'ala. So you have, in English, we might call it belief or faith. And in Arabic, let's talk about 3 terms. Amana, which is the verb, which means to believe. Mu'min means the one who believes, meaning the believer. And then Iman is the act, meaning the concept, if you wish, of the verb. And that's called what? Iman. All all of them are from the same root in Arabic.
All,
So
all of them have same meaning.
the root, no,
root
not the
is
same.
meaning, okay.
Yeah. So amana, to believe.
Okay.
The mu'min is the one who is a believer, and iman is what? Belief. Belief or faith.
Okay.
Faith here meaning belief.
Believe, yeah.
So this should be copied. This is critical because we're going to lay, like I said, we're like building a house, going through each point by point, clarifying. Because those people who, what they call perennialists, they reject salvific exclusivity. So we need to clarify that. Because there are people, I encountered some of these people today. And they have a bad belief. I didn't hear this from them, but they follow that school of thought. I didn't hear this from them. I saw other bad things from them.
Who was these people again?
Inshallah, we'll get to it, inshallah.
Okay.
Inshallah. Step by step. Inshallah. Okay, inshallah, we're gonna, because of the disc, we'll stop the session here. Inshallah, then we'll continue.